Runaround Sue is a classic of rock and roll. Okay, here's the start of it. Here's my story. It's sad but true. It's about a girl that I once knew. She took my love, then ran around with every single guy in town. Yeah, I should have known it from the start. That girl would leave me with a broken heart. Now listen, people, what I'm telling you, they keep around with Runaround Sue. She likes to travel around, yeah. She'll love you and she'll put you down. Now, people, let me put you wise. Sue goes out with other guys. Okay, and it's a classic from Dion, who was a, really big rock star at one point. And anyway, there's a couple of stories behind the song. Okay. One was him and some other people were in a I don't know, some sort of place where people were dancing, and they play a song and people want somebody to dance with somebody, and then they dance with somebody else, and somebody said it's a runaround, and so somebody came up with Runaround Sue. I talked to somebody else who said you could just as easily have said a runaround Hugh. But anyway, okay. The other thing, it was actually based on a young woman he knew from the neighborhood who was known for being kind of a flirt, and who was known for her, going from one guy to another. Okay. Now, Deanna was on a radio show one day, and they were taking calls. And he got a call from the woman the song was based on, whose name was not Sue. He chose the name Sue because it went along well with the, which just made a good song. It wasn't her name. And he learned how, in the, years, decades, perhaps decades since the song had been a hit, he learned how her life had been. She'd married a rabbi. She was a mother of 6 children. She appeared to have a wonderful life, or to have enjoyed a wonderful life. And he said, as far as the what was referenced in the song, chalk it up to being young and foolish. And she kind of thanked him for the song. Which was about a lifestyle she was no longer following as the rabbi's wife and the, mother of 6 kids. Now, I actually put this to a couple of Jewish people I knew, Jewish men I knew. How would you react if, your rabbi's wife was the model for Runaround Sue? Okay. Well, one of them replied, one of them actually replied, he actually replied with, he hasn't had a rabbi himself in over 60 years. He's not very observant. The last 2 he's been in the presence of have been women. His wife was good friends with a woman rabbi. But he noted that 2 of the bad girls in his high school got married, and they stayed married to the same husbands all their lives. Okay. Now, the other Jewish man who actually did the runaround Hugh joke, he mentioned that there was a man in the Talmud, a great sage. I'm probably mispronouncing this. It's something like Reish Lakish, who was an important admired man in the Talmud, had been a highway robber in his youth. The word he's an Orthodox Jew, and the word that he would use for the rabbi's wife would be Rebetzin. It's used by other Jews as well, but especially by those who are more Orthodox. And he said basically he would think of her as the same way as he might think of that great sage who had been a highway robber in his youth. There is kind of even a tradition of people known for having cleaned up their act when they matured. On the cover of the autobiography of Malcolm X, it says he rose from thief, pimp, drug addict to lead the Black movement in America. There's other cases of people who, changed, sometimes very radically.